Hi, I'm Mrs. McDonald, and I'm here to share a lot of the things that we did for our Arctic Week. And as always, I have a playlist that goes with my preschool, and I always have the most recent things at the top of my playlist. So if you want to see some of the videos that we used during Arctic Week, they're there. I had a harder time finding good ones for Arctic Week than other weeks, but anyhow, I searched the internet and I found a polar bear like this, only we decided to put cotton balls on ours. So I always kind of modify what I find online. Ahead of time, I have a big baggie. I get these big baggies and I prep them ahead, enough for each child. And then I have a whole box of the different ideas put in there, and whatever we decide to do that day, we pull out that craft. And they're all ready. So I let the children help me choose because I think it's fun to see what they want to do. So here we prepped this ahead of time. I cut this plate, cut the little edges off here, and then I just cut out a head shape and then another oval, which I probably could have just drawn it, but the children add the little J and backwards J, and we used googly eyes. I like googly eyes. And I made the ears ahead of time. So anyhow, that's a good activity for them using their hands to separate the cotton balls. Here's an Arctic owl we made. And I made this a lot like the one that was online. I modified it a little bit. So it only takes one large paper plate because you can cut the wings off each side. And I had this shape cut out. And I had the circles cut out for the behind the eyes and these shapes, but I had the kids make the little shapes on the wings, which looked a lot different than mine, but hey, that's okay. I want them to do it their way. And then I had them color the little claws, and we used paint with a cotton ball to make the middle, to color the middle part, and we hooked them all together, and they made their Arctic owl. And then here, this one's real cute, the walrus. This is pretty much how I found it online, but I looked and I had all the plates and everything ready, and we made that one day. One of the kids, though, is really young, so basically whenever the other kids were painting and doing their activities, I'd just give him a plate and give him a brown marker, and he'd just like color it. And then the next day he'd color another one, and we just made that today, actually. Now this was it says it's a wolf, okay? I found this online, it's cute, it's from it says Simple Mom Project. I wanted a wolf, it says it's a wolf, but when I was looking at pictures and books, I didn't think it looked that much like a wolf, so we called it an Arctic fox. So I used this, you could probably use that to make a puppet on out of a paper bag, but we used it to make just a picture. I gave them a strip of white paper to tear up because that tearing is good for them to be able to do, and a puffball for the nose. And they used paint to put fingerprints like snowflakes coming down. And I cut them out for the big kids, and for the little kids, and the big kids cut it out themselves. So those were the four major crafts we had for this week. And then for circle time, I always have I have a bin, and I just put a bunch of different things in there related to Arctic animals and cold and things like that. And one of them, we have these cards. They're this is Melt Like a Snowman, and there's a whole deck of these cards. And I have no idea where I got them because I've had these for a while. But they can pick a card, and then we can all do what it says. Glide like an ice skater, or hop like an Arctic hare, or prance like a reindeer, okay? So there's different activities, and it just depends on the mood we're in and which songs the kids like and what's related to the songs. We also have these, I laminated these, I printed them off the internet, and I laminated them, and the kids I can just hand them one and ask them to count them. Like if one of the kids is finished and the other kid is working on something, I can hand them a card and say, count these for me. And the littler kids were working on making sure that they say a number with each thing they touch, because if you're around kids a lot, a lot of times their counting goes kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we work on that. And with the older kids, you can have them put them in order. So it has a lot of versatility. I like to have things that I can do different things with. And I have a couple different poems. This one is one that's a song. This is the way we dance around, dance around, dance around. This is the way we dance around our snowman in the morning. And all these different things that they can do. Skip around, twirl around, hop around, gallop around. So you can work on that. And then the other one is about 5 little snowmen, and I made little puppets for it. And then one that they really like is a penguin, and I couldn't find where I had it, but we've been singing it so much, I can probably sing it. I'm a little penguin, black and white. I waddle to the left and I waddle to the right. When I'm feeling hungry, splash and splish, I dive into the water and catch a fish. Something like that. Okay. I also had these papers because during circle time, we usually do like songs, one learning activity, which might be the cards, might be a paper. If it's a paper, I keep it super simple that we can do together. Like these. The younger kids, I just hand them one and they just scribble on it. The older kids, while I work with the older kids. The older kids, I teach them that, you know, when we're looking for the leaves, we cross them out with one color of a pen and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I teach them how to write the numbers. Whatever level they are, that's the level I work. And then there's like 3 different ones of these that I found on 3 boys and a dog. So I printed those out, and if I don't use them, I'll just put them back in my box. As long as it's during the winter here, I might use them. This we use today, it's mittens, and the little kids just colored the mittens, while the older kids, we were matching uppercase and lowercase. And that's really cute and fun and fast and has a lot of versatility. So anyhow, I always have a few of those kinds of things. If there's cutting involved, I usually, with preschoolers, I try to teach them, you know, if they go to kindergarten and they cut out things, they're gonna have to do the whole thing. But for me, if the paper's like this big and it has something down here and they're cut out all these boxes, I'll cut across and I'll give them the paper and I'll give them this, and then all they have to do is snip them apart. Or I might even, if there's 2 rows, I might cut the 2 rows and then I'll just let them snip the things apart so that they're participating and they're cutting and they're learning, but it's not taking forever because we're in circle time and we're just having fun in circle time. But they really like doing their papers during circle time together. Now, some of the books that we used, this one, Over in the Arctic, where they dip and they dive, lived a white mother whale and her little calves 5. Click, said the mother. We click, said the 5. So they clicked and they whistled where they dip and they dive. So we count. This is a counting book. It was really cute. I bought that one. Penguin Pete I already had. That's a cute book. And in Arctic waters, this is really cute. In fact, I own this one, but this one's a library book because I couldn't find it. And it's a really cute one. And then this one's a little long, so I don't read it when I have the little kids with me, but the big kids really like this. It's a really cute a really cute book, sorry. And then, sorry, I missed this. This is another thing I had in circle time. You just print these off and make them into cubes, and then they roll them, and then they count how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they do 5 growls. Growl, 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 growl. And some of the kids love them, and a couple of the kids didn't want anything to do with them, so I just go with what the kids do. And then this was really fun. I had bought a thing of these little Arctic animals, and I put them in here, and I froze. I've used these a couple ways. One way is I put them in like yogurt cups that I recycle, and I put water in them and I froze them, and then I had a whole bunch of like animals and ice cubes, icebergs in the bin, and they could play with them. And I even had another pan, and we put it all out on a tablecloth, and they could it was like a sensory thing. And we talked about the ice being solid and when it melts, how it's liquid. And then later we were cooking something and the steam was coming up, so I was telling them about solid, liquid, and gas. And then another time that I used them, I used them with, these are those packing peanuts, and this kind happens to be very soluble, so if it gets wet, they just disintegrate. You have to be careful which children are with you, because if there's children that are babies, you don't have certain things out, or you put them out whenever the babies are taking a nap. So anyhow, oh, and then, oh, let me show you one more thing. We've been making an igloo. It's a work in progress by gluing the peanuts on here. So I think the next time we do it, we're doing this like 2 more days. We'll finish our igloo and we'll use our packing noodles to play with our Arctic animals. So I hope that gave you, I'm sorry, mittens. Well, I also printed off mittens because we did have a mitten song, but oh well. I think next time I'm going to get real mittens. Anyhow, I hope that gave you a lot of ideas, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.